Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss with you guys two schedule flows. These are recurring schedule flow. The first flow is used to send email notification for any SharePoint list, and this flow occurs at 8 a.m. CST timing, that is Central Standard Timing, every day. The email would be sent on the condition based with the expiration date that is less than 30 or the current date. The all items would be sending through an email notification. And the second flow should subtract the expiration date from the current date and update the days column for each item. So we have taken a SharePoint list over here with four different columns which we have. The first column is title, where we have different items heading, or we can say different items name. And the data type for the title is single text field. And the expiration date is a date time column where we have the expiry date written. And the status is a choice column which where we have two choices, open or closed, and the days until expiration is the days to be counted or left for the expiry. So we have, and the expiration date is a number column. So we have these four columns, and based on the sample data I have created a flow. So the first flow is, as I said, we will be sending an email notification to the user at every day 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with the items having expiration date less than 30 or from the current date. So we have taken a trigger, recurrence trigger, with an interval 1, because it's a daily occurring flow, and the frequency of the flow would be based on the day. So we have different options. If we click on the drop down, so we are selecting day as it's occurring daily. When we go to standard advanced options, we have here time zone. Since we are targeting the time zone as Central Standard Time, so we are using Central in the time zone. And the start time we have written as we are wanted the flow to run at 8 a.m. So I have given time as 8 and the time date it is. Next, coming to the next point, after trigger, we need to have the actions. So before those actions, we are initializing two different variables. First is an array variable and next is an object variable. By clicking this plus sign, we can add a new step over here and add an action. And from here, we can choose our action that needs to be performed when a trigger is triggered. So we have taken array. We have initialized a variable output list with a data type as array. When we are checking this dropdown, we have different types as well over here also. And we have taken array variable. The next variable which we have taken is object. Since the data is in format of table, so we want our output in table format as well. So we have taken the object as table so we have taken the type as object. Let me rename this as table. Okay. So for the action or the flow to happen, we need the SharePoint items in our flow. So for that, we are using get items action. And if I use for get items, we'll get when we click in a new step or add an action here, when we type SharePoint, we can see different types of actions, but here we have the most important is get items and get item. So in the name itself, items means a plural, which means all the data from this SharePoint are to be dragged in our flow, and item means a single item to be dragged. So in get item, we have site address. When you click on the drop down, automatically whatever sites we have, it will be shown in the drop down, and we'll select the necessary one which we want, and then list name which we have given. I have given as flow. We have selected. After that, since we want to check each of the item expiration date, so we are checking each of the items expiration date. So we are running a for loop over here. So when we are applying to each means each row would be checked. The while in a select output from previous step is the above output which we have in our automatically click will be getting some options over here. So I have taken value from the above get items, and then I have taken get item over here because we want now single items to be picked from the whole lot of the items, single item to be picked. So the site address would be test again, and then the list name would be flow. And here we do not need to create any ID in our SharePoint. As you can see in my SharePoint, I have not created any ID because that would be by default in the SharePoint list. So I have taken the ID, which is that on the base of the ID, the items will be picked up. So now we have taken the condition over here. The condition, what we wanted to check was that the expiration date should be less than 30 or it should be less than current date. So before checking for the days, let's go to the current date. We have taken the item from the get item part. I have taken the expiration date column and I have kept the condition as is less than, and I have taken the current date. I have taken the current date UTC now. In this UTC now, if we select, why I have used format date time over here, because in UTC now we will get the time zone as well. As we have seen in the recurrence part, we'll get the time zone as well. It is something like this. We will be getting the start time as this if we take UTC now. So the format, this, we're using format date time, and we have taken UTC and we have given the format in which format we want it. That is year, month, and date. We can also give month, date, year. So as you like, you can give. Now, for checking the days, initially we need to convert our expiration date to the days. So converting that, I have taken an expression. Let me copy this. So the expression is something like this. I have taken ticks over here. So the ticks are the functions which return a number corresponding to 100 nanoseconds interval. So I'm converting my date in the 100 nanoseconds, and then again it will be converted to the days. So initially I have taken the current date in the format of year, month, and day, the current, and I've converted into this. I've converted into nanoseconds. Then I have taken the expiration date column, whatever the dates are mentioned in the column, and I have converted them. So converted them in the again in the date format and converted into text. So now the sub. What is sub? Sub is a subtract function which I have used where I am just for getting the day. For getting the day is which means that we are subtracting the expiration date with the current date in order to the days left for the expiry. So I'm subtracting the expiration date with the current date, and then the output would be divided with the overall 1 day ticks. That is something 864 000 000. So I'm converting this into the day format. And, and the output of this get item triggered, we can get from the dynamic content. If we click the dynamic content, after writing the formula, if we go to the dynamic content and click the get item, expiration date, we would be getting this. And then we're updating this. And then since it's an OR function to be used because we are saying either this or that. So from here we are checking and or. So you're checking or. Now, if this condition satisfies, the if should be performed. In the if I have just declared the object variable, I will be typing that object variable in a JSON format to store the variable, to store the data basically. Whatever the true statements are, we are storing the data in an object. So in a JSON format, we are writing with the heading and the value. These values are from the get item what we have taken. Now when this has been stored in object, then we're appending this to variable. So how it goes as the first, if the condition is true for the first one object will be created and then it is appended to the first array. Then the second one, if it is true, it is converted into second in the second point the array. When all the array is formed, then we are creating the output of this array as a table. We have just take a create HTML table and the array we need to pass in the from part. So we have here advanced option. If we go, we have the columns that is automatic or custom. If we take custom, we can have to add our headers and the value to it. So I'm giving as automatic because already we have those headers available with us. And the last and the foremost point is we need to send an email. So we will be in the two, we will be writing the email to whomever we want to send, the subject, whatever you want to give. And in the body, we will be passing the table which we have created in the body. So again, we'll save this. Okay. I did something over here. I made a change over here, so I need to change this as table, and then we are saving this one. Okay, again I need to change here also my, because I have changed there the variable as table. So yeah, then we are just saving this one. And then we are testing it. We're testing it manually. Test, run, flow, done. So the flow is running and the flow ran successfully. So as we can see that in all the step, it ran and it is successful. We can also check over here how to create a table, like how the inputs we got and how the table is created. So yeah, the same thing is passed in our email. So let me quickly open my Outlook and show you guys how I got my email. So yeah, I got my email as in the items. If we go back and just do a cross check, according to our requirement, the expiry date should be less than today's date. The current date that is 28th December. So this one, and this two. And then we have since the expiration date from today's is less than 30, so this as well. Okay. So we got the required output as in our email. Now going forward to the second flow. The second flow is all about updating our this column, that is days until expiration column, with the current date minus the expiry date days, the leftover days. We need to update this column with the leftover days when compared to the current date. So again, since it's in a recurrence pattern and it should occur every day at 9 a.m. CST, I have taken as an interval 1 and frequency as day again over here. And again, as a CST, I have added in time zone and start time is for me is 9 a.m. And then I have taken a variable where I have added my current. I have made like make a variable where I have storing my current date, because current date is something which would be stagnant. So nothing but just I would be changing again my current date with the into ticks, because we need to calculate the days over here. So as done in previous, we have done in the get ticks and we're getting the items from the SharePoint over here. So I am taking my items from the SharePoint where I have site address and list name. Then we're applying to each. Again the same, and we are passing here the value of the get item over here. And again we are taking get item over here. So based on the IDs, particular IDs, we are checking the items. And again I have taken a compose over here. In this compose directly, we would be taking the output from the, we are just getting the day. Okay, so it's just same in the same format which we had. Let me copy this quickly and show you guys. So we have so nothing but we are just subtracting the expiry date with the current date and converting it into the days, the leftover days. And again the same way, and then so we have to update here our column. So I would be taking an update item action from the SharePoint and would be updating the output from here. The output which we got in the days, we would be updating it in the day until expiration column. So I have taken the site address and the list name based on the IDs and the title, which are the two most important component over here. Based on the two most columns, we would be passing the values. And then again, we are just saving it. And it's ready to go for a test. And we will be testing here. So, yeah, our flow is just that. And our items have been updated. So let's check our SharePoint and let's refresh me this. And here we can check our expiration days column, with the days are left for the expiry as this. So it has been updated. So this is all about the two flows. I hope you guys understood clearly. Thank you.